Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, On Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations unto the elect out there, brothers and sisters, sincere ones, right? So we're going to get into our basic lesson here, waiting on Yahawashi. You understand? Because, as he's saying, patience is a virtue. You understand? And to start it off, before I read the scripture, we should get the meaning out with patience and virtue. Right? Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Right? And this is Yapa too, because when you think about it, right, we had to have that capacity to accept or tolerate the delay, right? Because I know the scripture say, a day with the Lord is 1,000 years, vice versa, And for us now, it may seem like if it been delayed, as I say in Habakkuk 2, though it may tarry, wait for it, it shall surely come. Do you understand? It's a problems or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious, right? And that is something we just try to exercise every day, because it's hard to live not annoyed in this world, because as a lowly truth, you're being filled with righteousness, you're being, edified daily. It's hard to not become annoyed, because you're seeing these wicked tutors and them doing shit that they're not supposed to do, or you tell them about it and they will rebel, even though we know it's in the scriptures, it was still annoying, right? But it's that capacity to accept it, because we know that is how it ought to be, that is how the Lord set it, So having our patience, to wait on the Lord until He come back is something that's a gift, right? Now let's get the meaning of virtue, right? Wait, let me see where else I had here, right? It's a forbearance, tolerance, restraint, self-restraint, resignation, right? Well, yeah, this is basically something, yeah. Well, you basically get the idea, let's see, virtue. Right. Shit. Right, virtue meaning, it's a behavior showing high morals standards, right? In traditional Christian angelology, what are you for some I am that one? Highest order of ninefold celestial. I mean, what the fuck them talking about? But yeah, so behavior showing high moral standards, right? So you say goodness, right? Righteousness, morality, uprightness, dignity, honorableness, incorruptibility, respectability, right? Nobleness, worthiness. Hey, this is some Yapa words. See, lack of corruption, blamelessness, purity, principles, ethics. You see, well, hey, that's Yapa, So patience is a virtue. So it's like having restraint. It's a righteous thing, So, hey, I'm glad I went into those words, because I didn't even had a plan to go into it, I had this saying in my mind, but, I'm glad you have watched me, Shalom, to go into it, So, yeah, so let's go back into the scripture here. We read Psalms 27 and 14. It says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. You understand? So this King David, hey, well, he's the king over Israel, so he given a command too, because he know, right? Because the Lord deal with King David on a high level. You understand? Because back when, because we know Moses is the reincarnation, right? Well, actually, no, I said it wrong. King David is the reincarnation of Moses, right? So, and we know how the Lord did with Moses, right? Moses was the one that was talking to the Lord face to face. You understand? So that is hey, with full of wisdom. You understand? Even when he was reincarnated as King David, the wisdom was just increasing. So as it say here, right, he told us, hey, wait for the Lord, be of good courage, because we just read in the meanings, right? You gotta be able to accept, the suffering, right, which is going back into the afflictions and all these things. We're able to accept that now, that going on, and wait for the Lord goodness, because we know, hey, because the more we see these things, prophecies unfolding daily, we know and we feeling happy in our spirit because we know, hey, it's just 2 more major prophecies to kick off, and then, hey, well, the second one is the coming of the Lord, right, which is the destruction, because all of that tying in, you know. But we know after that, when we see the Lord come, Lord willing, be a part of that number, we're going to be happy, we're going to be praising the Lord. You understand? We're going to be praising the Lord to the highest extent, right? So let's get Isaiah 64, right? Let's see, Isaiah 64 and verse 4, right? They say, for since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither had the eye seen, O Yahawashi beside thee, what he had prepared for him that waited for him. Right? So from since the beginning, right, it always had those rebellious, Israel was always a rebellious nation, you know. So they didn't know, they didn't see anything. You understand? They had no faith. Right? Because I mean, again with Moses, we see what went on with them. 2/3 of them had was to get destroyed because they literally believed that their life in Egypt was better. You know? They were working hard, sweating in hot sun, and they believed when the Lord rescued them and gave them what does call it? The Lord was guiding them by day, right? A pillar of clouds, and by night a pillar of fire, which we know is chariots, right? So you've seen all those miracles, you've seen the power of the Lord, you see the destruction, you see how the Lord bring down Egypt to rescue you, right? When the Lord feed you, right? The water basically turn into juice, all these things, you understand? All these miracles you see before your eyes. If we see them things these days, we gonna freak out and be like, hey, what that turn into juice? You know, because everybody expecting things to be, you know, as they say in the shows and things that define the laws of nature, you know. But hey, the Lord is the one that created this. You understand? And He is outside of this nature here, right? We only know the standard things. You understand? And as the scripture say, you know, the Lord say, well, if you don't even understand earthly things, how could I tell you things about the things in heaven? You know, roughly paraphrasing, because hey, a lot of tutors, they don't even understand how certain things work here. They don't understand the power of the Lord. They don't understand normal things. You understand? So much less way in heaven, right? So yeah, the Lord say, wait for Him, right? But we don't know the we only know of what certain things that He told us about. He written about, you know, like we know about the streets of gold and whatnot, you know, but we don't know about everything. Those few things that He told us about, it's just that and all is just enough to build your faith. You understand? It's like working towards something. It's like you're buying a new car. And you see that car and you say, yeah, but that car is real nice. That one help me out good. You know, thing getting through. And you're working towards it hard. You're saving. You're doing this. You're doing that. You know, and you're covering everything that you do to get it. It's the same way we pushing this wood, right? We working hard to get our kingdom. You understand? Because it didn't really make no sense staying here every day. And wake up early in the morning, or you're going out late in the night thing to go and do work stressful. You come back home, you have a headache. You know, some work's dangerous. You're risking your life for a small salary. You know that kind of way. It ain't easy in this kingdom, man. You know, and we people comfortable here, but verse 5 it said, thou meetest him that rejoiceth and worketh righteousness, those that remember thee in thy ways, behold, thou art wrought, for we have sinned in those is continuance, and we shall be saved. Yeah. Right, because the fact that, and it's so yapa too, eh? Imagine we sin against the Lord countless times and the Lord still decides to show us mercy. Right? All He telling us now is to wait on Him. Like push this word and wait upon Him. Understand? Just wait on Him. Because all of that, this time period that He's given us for us to wait on Him is also to build our faith, and is always also our grace period to show that faith, you know, and show that hey, we're loyal to Him regardless. You know, regardless of the things that we're going through and whatnot. Because He will give us affliction, He will chastise us. You know, we gotta remember Job too, just like how the scriptures say, remember Lot's wife. You know, don't look back. You know, don't look back to the world. You could use the same instance in this way where you could say, you remember Job, right? Because what would Job's wife tell him, right? Remember Job's wife. Because Job's wife was telling him, hey, curse the Lord and die. As soon as something happened, you know what was his response? That would forever stick with me. You know, his response, hey, what make you feel we could only accept good from the Lord and not evil? You know, the Lord is our balance power. You understand? And we know evil just means bad time, right? So if you ain't getting no bad time, if you're in the shoot and everything just going well and good with you, hey, something wrong, you know? Something, if you ain't getting no type of affliction, like nobody is saying the Lord can make things go your way for a good while, like a week or something. You know, it could even be for like a month. You understand? But at the same time, even though the Lord can you a little easier because you might not suffer real hell the month or 2 months before, you know, the Lord decided to get a little easier per month. You understand? Even in them time period, I will still be feeling a little shaky. I'll be like, oh, why make sure I'm going on here, I'm doing my videos, thing, I say my prayers, you know, paying tithes, this. You know, you start to check yourself plenty, and that would the Lord want you to do too. Right? Even though it wouldn't be a affliction day in that point in time, because I mean he easing you up. You understand? By he doing that, it also is like a twofold now, buddy. You know? It's like a twofold. So it's like, you know, he building your faith while he easing you up too. Right? And so like here for that noise, yeah, okay, I might have to pause just now because demons on the plantation, yeah. Right? So let me go to the next precept quick. At least I'm have it on deck for that demon pass. 1 Corinthians 2:9. Alright, hold on. Alright, so reading here it says, but as it is written, I had not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, which is the mind, the things which Most High had prepared for him, for them that love him. Understand? For them that love him, right? Because hey, the ones that love him is who? The elect. You understand? Now it goes into the whole nation, right? Because eventually the whole nation, as the scripture says, all of Israel shall be saved, you know, and whatnot. But the ones that love him on this side, they're gonna be on top, right? Because we know the order is Yahawashi, King David, and then the elect, and even within the elect it still have a rank and file. You understand? But the elect will still be above the rest of Israelites, even though they're gonna be living nicely. You understand? So the elect and them, they're gonna have thing. And we know, well, of course, the nation of Israel, they're gonna repent in the kingdom, they'll be brought back in the right mind, and they're gonna love the Lord, you know, so the Lord will bless them up, you know, so to put it. Right? Let's get Psalms 130. Psalms 130 and verse 5. Right? It reads, I wait for the Lord, my soul do wait, and in his word do I hope. Right? Because, you know, hope goes back to faith, you know, and faith going back to patience the same way. Because I mean, hey, if you have patience, right, actually no, if you have hope, right, that means you're starting to believe on something and you have faith in it. And when you have faith and you're reading the scriptures and you know, well, hey, these things had to happen or whatever, and you believe it, you see it coming to pass, then you will start to gain patience because you know, well, all right, when this comes to pass, thing, because you basically, it come like it basically have a timetable. We don't know exactly when things gonna happen, but when I say timetable, it's like a literal timetable. Like when you're in school, you know, they go tell you you have class for 8 in the morning, right? And then class, our next class 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, right? Now anything could happen within that hour, you know. That class, the first class could end before that, you know, or it might end up going overboard. You know, sometimes that has happened. You know, if you all understand where I'm coming from, I know it's not really a good analogy, but you know, that kind of way is like a timetable too in a sense. Because the Lord telling you, hey, when you see this prophecy happen, think it, because you know, all right, after math class you have English, after English is science. Same thing with the prophecies. You understand? You know, after the mark of the beast is the destruction and then the salvation. You know, that kind of way. So when you understand it like that, you will gain patience because you know, well, all right, this in effect now. We just had this to do after, or this to go through after, and then this coming. You understand? So you go build our patience now, right? So verse 6, let's say, my soul waited for the Lord more than they that watch for the morning. Yeah. And that's a serious patience too. You know what King David talking about here. Say, I say more than they that watch for the morning. You see, and you repeat yourself, and you know, twice or two ways confirmation, right? Let Israel hope in the Lord, for the Lord there is mercy, and with him is plenteous redemption. Plenteous redemption, because the Lord merciful, right? After all this shit that we do, the Lord still loves his people. Of course, he had to destroy two-thirds in them and bring them back in the right mind, because they ain't right, you know. But hey, the Lord said he will forgive their sins, right? Verse 8, and they say, and he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. You see, and we know iniquity is sin upon sin, so I ain't lie, right? The Lord shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities, right? Meaning the whole nation, right? So now let's go to Sirach. This will be the last precept, right? Sirach 36 and 11. Alright, going down. Right, it says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning. Yeah, because you know the Lord chosen people was Jacob, right? You know the story in Genesis and whatnot, right? Verse 12 it says, O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name. You understand? And upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. Right? So you see how spiritual is? Because we know Jacob wasn't literally the firstborn, because we know Esau was the firstborn, right? But when I say whom thou hast named thy firstborn, the Lord named them the firstborn, because them is the one that choose. Because you know, as how the traditions is good, right? Where the firstborn will inherit everything. You understand? But the Lord ordained Jacob to be the one to inherit, which in a sense will he become the firstborn in that sense. You know, because we know the whole story about Isaac and Esau and Jacob, right? Verse 13 it says, O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. Hey, and that yapa, because I believe it's 2 Esdras 13, right? I know it's in 2 Esdras, I can't remember the chapter. I believe it's like the 2 Esdras 13 or 9, I feel it's 13, where the Lord, where Esdras was basically seeing the elect and them getting crowned. You know, they being rewarded. You know, and we know in Revelation 22 and 12, it say, hey, behold, I come swiftly, and my reward is with me. You understand? So the Lord come back to reward every man according to the works, right? Which the elect reward will be a crown of life, you know. And the whole nation is going to get immortality and whatnot, you know. Because why? They stood stiffly for the name of the Lord. You know, Lord will not part of that number. You know, and that is how it goes. Right? That is how it goes. So the reward that wait for thee, right? Because again, patience is a virtue. Right? So it's a reward you're gonna get, you know. And we're waiting for the Lord, and that is also showing your faith. You know, that is also showing your faith, because hey, when you wait for the Lord, you know, you ain't gonna want to dwindle, because the things that the Lord told you about, right, the warnings of what will happen if you fall out, so basically turn back to this world, you know, they're gonna be even, your destruction gonna be far worse than the two-thirds on them that was already in the world and never came to the truth, you know. Here will also give you faith boosters about certain things that in the kingdom, powers we're gonna have in the end time, you know. And the destruction of the arm, nobody could deliver out of his hands. So like he gave warnings, he gave faithful instructions, you know, or things to build your faith, if you want to put it that way, you know. And that is how it is. So hey, the moral of the story is to wait on the Lord, you know, wait on Yahawashi, right? It will be worth it. You know, so I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. You know, a bad bubble to this place, and shalom, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharala.